Today we're going to do a rotation lesson of an image on a coordinate plane. Some of the materials you'll need for today will be some graph paper, notepad paper, ruler, pencils, one with an eraser just in case. We were going to start by setting up our graph paper. Using the whole sheet of graph paper, draw a set of axis lines through the middle of the graph paper. However, do not label or number these lines. Next, I want you to label the ends of the axis lines as though you were marking a compass rose: north, south, east, and west. Your paper should look like the picture below. Once the axes are drawn and labeled, we're going to plot three coordinate points, connect these points: A 3, 2, B 3, 12, C 10, 2. You should have drawn a right triangle in quadrant 1 of your graph. Your graph should now look like the picture below. As I go through these lessons, you may want to pause these to give yourself more time if needed. If not, just follow along. Okay, before we explore and learn the rules for rotation of an image, we need to create a place to record your data. A math alert here. Organizing your data will help you greatly when looking for patterns of change which occur in mathematics, not just in this lesson, but in any lesson. A table of some type is always a good choice. So I want you to create a table to record the original point locations and the new point locations after we rotate our images. Here's one possible example you could be using. Looks like the table below. And the notation alert. The apostrophe marks after the point letters are prime marks. These prime marks indicate how many times a point has been transformed, meaning that A triple prime means that the original point A 3, 2 has been transformed 3 times. Okay, now moving on. Here is how we are going to fill in the table of values for each clockwise rotation. Starting with a triangle in quadrant 1 and north on the top of your paper. Turn your paper clockwise until north is in the location that east was in. Your graph should look like the photo below. A 90-degree clockwise rotation. A prime would be 2, -3. B prime would be 3, -12, and C prime would be 2, -10. Rotate clockwise once more, turning the north to the bottom of the page, and fill in the table values for the 180-degree rotation. And then rotate clockwise once more, turning the north to the left side of the paper, and fill in the table values for the 270-degree clockwise rotation. Do you see how the X and Y values are changing with each 90-degree rotation? Clockwise rotation in this case. Here is a visual, might make it easier to picture what value is changing signs. First, remember, all rotations of 90 degrees, whether clockwise or counterclockwise, the X and Y values swap positions. What you need to remember is which value is changing to its opposite sign. In this example here, if we have a point XY, any point XY rotating 90 degrees clockwise, think of, and you have the picture of the arrow moving in a clockwise direction, as though the X is moving over the Y. The point A 3, 2 rotating 90 degrees clockwise becomes A prime 3, -2, -3. Think of this. Which value would be moving over the other value in the clockwise direction. In this case, the x is. So the x becomes its opposite value when switching places with the y. And in this case, for a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise, you can see that we have the y moving in a counterclockwise direction over the x, and that would become the negative term, or opposite of its original value. Which value would be moving over the other value in the counterclockwise direction? In the illustration you can see from the graphic, the y is. So the y becomes its opposite value when switching places with the x. Point A 3, 2 rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise becomes A prime 2, negative 3. Finish completing the tables for both clockwise and counterclockwise rotations. Analyze the data in your tables and see where the points are the same. What do you notice about the patterns? Pause here while this is discussed. Both completed tables of values will appear in a moment. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the video.